Email is going to kill us. Now the email is good, very effective way to communicate. Our ministry depends a lot upon the internet. But texting and all this other stuff that you do, you no longer care about the English language. No longer just get your message across. But there's no idea of art in language. There's no idea of beauty in language. Even as we look at the Puritans and we say, well, they were so flowery, the flowers in their speech. No, there was beauty in their speech. And we don't care anymore. Just tell me what it means. I don't want to. I want to understand it. I don't want to marvel in it. As Christianity has less and less of a hold upon culture, the less and less true culture there is. You could write an entire book. As a matter of fact, if you really wanted to point out the reckless slide of our country, I think a good title for the book would be The Death of Beauty. Because beauty has no defining points, has no purpose, cannot be understood apart from the one who is ultimately beauty, is the standard for all beauty, and that is Christ. Well, let's go on. Great persons have great delights. Your task ought to be, listen to me, young people. One of your goals ought to be a great person, to be a great man. You say that's proud. No, it's proud when you claim it, and it's proud when you seek to be a great man as defined by the world. But when you seek to be a great man in order to be God's man, it's quite different. You know, I drive by a McDonald's, and my two little boys, they get so excited about the outdoor jungle gym thing. They really do. And that's all right. They're 5 and 8. If they're 16 and get excited about it, I've got some problems. When I was a child, I thought like a child, acted like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. I can give little Rowan, she's 2, I can give her a plate, a bowl especially, and she will play with that bowl all day. That's wonderful. If she's doing that at 20, as she matures, that which grabs her attention must become higher and higher. Her desires must elevate with maturity. I hope that when a young man, as he grows, he'll put away things like foolishness and computer games. And it's not that he does it for the sake of frugality or to spend more time at something else, but just because it has no hold on him any longer. You see, as a Christian, if you are Christian, here's something that you need to see. You are no longer just man. You are a new creature. You have been recreated in Christ Jesus. It is now impossible, if you are truly Christian, it is impossible for you to be satisfied with the lower things of this world. It's impossible. It is an impossibility. Now, you, like myself, can fall into it. You can become distracted and all sorts of things. But it is an absolute impossibility that you can be satisfied with the lower things of this world and of human nature. You cannot. Why? Because you have been recreated. You have a new nature. Higher things. Set your mind on things above. Set your mind and your affections solely upon those things that spring forth from the grace of God, whether it be specific grace and redemption or common grace given to men so that Swan Lake can be performed correctly. But set your mind on those things that flow from the grace of God. Now, he says, let us consider the intimacy, dearness, yea, oneness of those great persons, one with another. The nearer the union, the sweeter the communion. That is only the case because both beings are perfect. Now Jesus Christ was not only near and dear to God, but one with Him. I and my Father are one. John 10:30. One in nature, will, love, and delight. There is indeed a moral union of souls among men by love, but this was a natural oneness. No child is so one with his father, no husband so one with his wife, with the wife of his bosom, no friend so one with his friend, no soul so one with its body, as Jesus Christ and the Father were one. Oh, what matchless delights must necessarily flow from such a blessed union. Let's pick up a word here. Fractured. Fractured. Isolated. Almost everything you know is fractured. There's a sense your psyche is fractured. Your soul is fractured. Your relationships have fissions and fractures in them, do they not? Even your relationship with your dearest wife, there are fractures. There is isolation. In what way, you say? Well, there is a part of me that no one knows and can know. It cannot be shared. You can't go there. You can't walk through that door. I alone know it, and even I don't know it completely. There's an aloneness. There's a part that belongs to me that's never going to belong to you. You're never going to know. There's fracture, there's isolation. But there in the Trinity, none of that sort of thing even entered into the mind. Just perfect oneness and union. You see, it's so hard for us to understand this. We've never seen anything like this. I was talking to someone about church 2 months ago or so. They were planning a church, and we were talking about how we were going to plant a church, and I shared with the person some things, and they said, man, we're just right on the same page. And not that I'm better or worse, or they're better than worse, but I thought to myself, I didn't say it to them, but young man, you don't even have a clue what I just told you about. Because you shared with me your vision an hour ago, and it's completely different than, you don't even understand what I'm talking about. In the same way, when we hear things of the unity between the persons of the Trinity, and we think, yeah, I understand, man, yeah, it's great to be in unity. You don't even know what he's talking about, and neither do I. Because the greatest of unity for us is a fractured mess compared to what the Father and the Son knew. Yes.
I totally agree with that, being involved in this ocean of transcendent joy between Father and Son. But was there not some fracture in some sense when he became a man? I mean, look at the joy that was set before him and the cross.
The question is, was there a fracture when he became a man, even prior to in the incarnation itself? Yes, of course there was. And that's why we're looking at this. We're looking at this only with regard to his pre-incarnate state. This is the way it was for him in heaven. Then for him to step out of that. Now there is a sense, because when John